Thorne.
Hello, Sheila.
I hope we didn't keep you up too late last night.
It was a lovely dinner.
Then you did enjoy yourself.
I had an interesting time.
It really means a lot to Eric to have you stay at the house with us. And believe it or not, it means a lot to me, too.
Is that so?
So you have a difficult time believing that?
Yes. Speaking of Eric, do you know where he is?
Mm-hmm. He stopped at the hospital to see Ridge.
I see.
So? How about you? What about your day? Busy schedule?
I have an appointment. A very important appointment.
At Forrester?
Century City.
I know someone who has an office in Century City.
Really?
And if that's where you're going, I hope you know what the stakes are. You made a promise to your husband before he died, Lauren. A promise to keep everything you knew about me a secret. You violate that promise, and you not only dishonor Scott's memory, but you also make your very good friend Eric's life a living hell. You really ready to do that?
Are you finished?
Yes. So stay away from James Warwick.
Have a nice day, Sheila.
Do we have any leads at all?
Well, we know from the postmarks who's ever writing these letters lives in L.A.
In other words, this creep is close by.
Exactly.
Oh, now, wait a minute. All of those letters were sent to Macy, care of Decadent Records. Now, that's a good sign, isn't it?
Right, obviously this guy doesn't know Macy's home address.
Might not know.
What do you mean?
Whoever this is has a deviant mind. He or she could be deliberately trying to throw us off track.
He or she? You don't really think that this is being done by a woman, do you?
We don't know. He signed the name Irv, but that could be a nickname or some kind of code.
Look, the bottom line is simple. You have to be careful. For some reason, you have become the object of someone's neurotic obsession. There's no telling what he or she might do.
So you have to be vigilant. Never go anywhere alone. Always have an escort.
Trust me, I'm not letting her out of my sight.
Well, what exactly should we be looking for?
Any suspicious behavior. Someone following you, looking at you oddly in a public place.
A familiar face. Someone you can't quite recognize, but you know you've seen on more than one occasion.
It could be anybody. Anybody.
True. But the perpetrator could be someone you know personally. A friend, even.
A friend? No, this is a fan. It's got to be some sick, crazy fan. Thorne and I don't have any friends that would do this kind of a thing.
Well, we think you may, ma'am. Maybe even more than one.
Ivana?
Well, there you are. I thought you'd never get here.
What are you doing here?
Well, since when do I need a reason? I missed you, sweetheart.
Ivana, do you have any idea who's in this building right now?
Yeah, a couple of police investigators. I saw them flashing their badges at reception.
Doesn't that worry you?
Well, not especially.
Ivana, you could be a suspect.
Look, Anthony, how many times do I have to tell you? I'm not the one writing those letters.
I'm worried about you.
Yeah, well, don't be.
I went to see a friend. I told them about you.
Who?
A psychiatrist.
You talk to a shrink about me? How dare you?
I did it because I care, and you're going to stay here while I tell you what she had to say to me.
Still barging in like you own the place, Stephanie? What do you want? I'm busy.
I understand that Lauren Fenmore is in the building, and I thought you'd know where she is.
I don't know where she is.
And you don't care? It doesn't bother you that she's in town? Sheila, you're living on borrowed time.
So, finally we meet. This is a pleasure.
Long time in coming.
Eric has told me a lot about you.
He's a very dear friend.
Do you mind if I call you Lauren?
Of course.
So how long have you known Eric?
A long time. We go way back.
And what about Sheila?
Longer than I care to remember.
I see. Well, please, why don't you sit down, make yourself comfortable, and we shall talk about Sheila Forrester.
Before we start, Dr. Ward.
Please, call me James.
Okay, James. You want to give me some background on the situation?
Of course. Several months ago, Eric came to me. He was suffering from acute anxiety and stress. He wanted his marriage to end immediately. The only problem was Sheila threatened to drag him over the coals in divorce court. Eric agreed to stay in the marriage if Sheila agreed to enter into couples therapy.
So you saw them together?
That's right. But it wasn't long before I decided to see Sheila alone.
I'm not surprised.
Really? Why is that?
I assume that your therapy with her has been pretty rocky.
Well, during the sessions, a disturbing pattern began to develop.
What kind of pattern?
A certain name came up, again and again.
My name?
That's right. You and she obviously share a history. A pretty disturbing history, I would say. The only problem is I've had a very hard time having Sheila discuss it. Well, I know it's a bit of an understatement.
So you're looking to me to be your missing piece in the puzzle.
Well, she is an enigma.
Not to me.
My main concern are my patients, Eric and Sheila. Their emotional well-being. You can be absolutely certain of that, Lauren.
It's not your motives that concern me.
I sense you're uncomfortable.
How well do you know Eric?
Oh, I've known him for probably just a little more than a year.
Have you ever socialized with he and Sheila?
Not really.
Well, I had dinner with them last night, and it really opened my eyes.
To what?
I saw a man who was more at peace with himself than I've seen in a long time.
Are you sure we're talking about the same man?
Yes.
Eric's not at peace. His emotional life is an absolute shambles, thanks to Sheila.
And what do you base that on?
Conversations that I've had with Eric. I know for certain he wants out of that marriage.
With all due respect, Doctor, you are a stranger to me, and I know your credentials are impeccable. But the information I have could be devastating to Eric if it got out. And I'm not so sure I want to risk that.
So you do have something on Sheila?
Oh, yes. I most certainly do.
I really couldn't care less where Lauren is.
Fine. She's probably at the Four Seasons. I'll leave her a message.
She's not staying at a hotel.
Then you do know where she is.
She's staying in my guest room.
You're joking.
No, I'm perfectly serious.
Lauren Fenmore is your house guest?
Yes. And actually, I am very happy she's finally getting to see Eric and me together. We had a beautiful dinner last night, just the three of us.
You can't pull the wool over her eyes. Even you aren't that foolish. Where is she? Let's just stop playing these silly games, all right? Where is she, Sheila?
She said she had a meeting.
Here in the building? Here in the building,
Would
Sheila?
you just leave me alone?
Oh. Now I know where she is, and so do you. She's gone to see James, hasn't she? And all this false bravado. That's all it is, isn't it? She must be bringing James up to speed on everything she knows about you. It's almost over. Maybe even just a matter of hours. How does it feel to see it all slip away.
All right, Detective. Now, let me make sure that I heard you right. You were suggesting that my daughter Macy could be stalked by someone she knows?
That's how we see it, Mrs. Spectra.
That is completely ridiculous.
Yes, of course it is. I mean, you don't know my daughter. If you did, you'd know how ridiculous this is. She's a wonderful person. Everybody she knows loves her. She's not the kind of person who makes enemies. Do you understand?
She's made at least one. Now, hasn't she?
All right. All right, if you are so convinced that the person who wrote those letters is someone we all know, then give us a name. Just exactly who do you think this stalker really is?
Are you saying you think you know who this Irv guy is?
Not yet, but we're working on a couple of leads.
And they're one of our friends, you're saying?
Afraid so, Mr. Forrester.
All right. Who? Who is it?
Do you remember when you announced your engagement?
Yes, of course we remember.
The press had a field day. The whole world read about the two jilted lovers.
Anthony Armando and the supermodel Ivana.
You think that Anthony or Ivana? Guys, you are way off base here.
Maybe so. At this point, it's just speculation.
Well, do you have any facts to back up your theory?
Let's start with the first letter. Irv identifies with Macy. He mentions he knows how it feels when it comes to getting fan mail.
Okay, Ivana does get a lot of fan mail.
And then in the second letter, Irv expresses his anger and jealousy at Thorne. He can't bear to hear Thorne's voice in harmony with Macy's.
And you think that might be Anthony?
It's possible. I have to ask you two a question. Have you set a wedding date yet?
Yes, it's less than a month away.
Why?
This wedding is something the perpetrator does not want to happen. Whoever he or she is, they may be out to stop it. So be careful.
Oh, excuse me.
Ah, Dylan, can it wait? We're in a meeting here.
Well, actually, Sally, I heard that the detectives were here. You guys are talking about those letters Macy's been getting, right?
Do you know anything about this matter?
Well, I'm not sure. I have some information, and it might be nothing, but I think you'd better hear it.
I can't believe you talked to someone behind my back.
Ivana, please, listen to me.
Yeah, and a psychiatrist, no less.
I didn't name names. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, well, how very considerate of you.
Ivana, my psychiatrist friend, she deals with this kind of thing all the time.
Oh, yeah, what kind of thing is that, Anthony?
Obsessive behavior, pathological jealousy.
I don't believe this. Anthony, I told you I did not write that letter. I wrote just the one, understand? Just one. It was stupid and foolish and childish. But I got it out of my system. And that's all there is to it, okay?
Ivana, you're in denial.
Oh, spare me the psychopath.
Look, I want you to see my friend.
The psychiatrist.
Yes, she can help you.
I don't need any help.
Ivana, we both know you're still mailing threatening letters to Macy. Now, if you can just admit that to yourself, you're halfway there.
Halfway to where?
To recovery.
Oh, why don't you believe me?
Ivana, this has got to stop. No more letters. Now, let me help you to stop.
I'm telling you the truth. I wrote just the one letter. Just one. I swear. I swear.
Lauren, what do you know about Sheila, this information? It's important.
Well, it's more than information. I mean, that word doesn't even do it justice. It's a history. A long, ugly history that involves many people. One of them dead. God rest his soul.
You were close to him?
Very.
Lauren, listen to me. I'm in the dark. But I'm very sure of one thing. These secrets you're hiding, they're very important. Reveal them, and it could make all the difference in the world.
Eric's welfare is all I care about. And the truth that I know about Sheila could either save him or destroy him. I don't know which. I just don't know.
I understand what you're going through.
Do you? I don't think so.
Oh, believe me, I don't like probing people about my patients. It's against my principles, but this time I think it is necessary.
I'd like nothing more than to tell you everything I know about Sheila. If you only knew what she's done to my life and the pain that she's inflicted on other people. That's why I came to L.A., Dr. Warwick. I wanted to strip her of all of her pretenses.
But now you're wavering because of Eric.
I saw them last night. I watched them. He is a man who cares very much for that woman. Oh, sure, I could tell him the truth about Sheila. I would get my revenge and her life would be over. But what about Eric? What would it do to him?
What do you think it will do to Eric if he doesn't learn the truth?
I understand that, but they've been married for 3 years. He's not stupid. There's something about Sheila that's very appealing to him. As much as it kills me to admit it, she brings something positive to his life. So do I just ignore that? Or do I just do what's expedient for you and me?
All right, so you went to a wonderful dinner party. Sheila was on her best behavior and somehow she got Eric to cooperate. But that marriage is completely dysfunctional. His life is a living hell. He is trapped and he wants out.
Look, I hate being in this position. I don't want to defend Sheila to you or anybody else. But I also don't want to be the catalyst for ripping Eric's life apart.
And what if he himself tells you to talk to me?
Eric?
Yes. What if Eric tells you to tell me everything you know about Sheila?
Well, if he asked me to do that, then I would do it.
And you talk to Eric. You talk to Stephanie. And you ask them point blank what they want you to do with your information. And I've no doubt they will tell you to reveal it to me.
All right. I'll talk to them today.
Dylan, listen to me. If you have any idea who the person is who's been terrorizing Macy, then start talking. I mean pronto.
Well, that's just it, Sally. I'm not sure what I know.
Just fill us in. Start at the top.
Okay. The other day, I was having a cup of coffee at the Insomnia, and I ran into someone there.
Does someone have a name?
Yeah, Sly Donovan.
The bartender at the Bikini.
You know him?
Well, yeah, I used to sing in his bar.
He hired you to sing.
Well, that's not the only connection. I mean, Sly used to have a thing for me, but that was a long time ago.
I see. Okay, Dylan. Sly, what about him made you suspicious?
Well, it was the things he was saying. I mean, he seemed really bitter towards Macy.
Well, did he say why?
Yeah. It looks like the Bikini is going out of business, and he blames Macy for that. He says that you abandoned them once you got famous.
It's a good lead. Thanks for coming forward, Dylan.
Well, that's not all there is. There's more. You see, Sly was filling out a job application at the Insomnia.
How does that relate?
This nut who's been sending those hate letters to Macy, how does he sign them?
He's been using the name Irv.
That's what I thought. I got a look at his application. It turns out that Sly is just a nickname. His real name is Irving.
All right. Thank you. Come in.
They told me you were in here.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you and so relieved.
It's been too long.
We've got to talk. I'm assuming that you've seen James Warwick.
Yes.
Lauren, did you tell him everything? Did you tell him everything about Sheila?